Hello, hello. How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Hi. Well, we are so excited to talk to you about this. We get another great season. Of course, we've seen it. It starts out with crying. We are about to get into some real emotional stuff here and some ups and downs. But you got to be so excited and so proud for everybody to see this, right?
Yeah, we are for
Absolutely.
sure.
Yeah. Well, of course, there are a lot of amazing moments on this, but I'm just curious about uh, opening yourself up and letting people see everything on the show. I mean, it's got to be a little bit nerve-wracking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit nerve-wracking, but I think that's our goal as cheerleaders is, to be authentic and to be genuine, to show the world, the true us and who we are. And so, yeah, I think, even though it is a little nerve-wracking, it is exciting. It's exciting to share with the world. And, everyone's been so positive about season one that I think we're really looking forward to another season.
Absolutely. And what kind of advice would each of you give to somebody? Because I know people come up all the time and say, I want to be a cheerleader too, but now we know exactly how hard you work and how hard it is. So what would you say to them?
Yeah. One thing I would say is to never live in regret, and you do not know how far you will make it unless you try. I was an example of that. I had no idea if I was going to make it past the first round. So, it's really trusting God in his journey and giving your 110% every step of the way.
Beautiful. And what would the rest of you say? Because I know everybody's got their own advice and journey on this.
I would say hard work will get you really far. I think if you do put your entire heart, soul, mind to it, anything that you do in life, if you are truly 100% committed, it will happen for you if you believe in yourself. So I would say hard work gets you really, really far, and believing in yourself and knowing that you're capable will also get you really far as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would say don't try and fit a mold. Each person on the team is an individual, and us as 36 individual make a beautiful whole. So don't think you have to fill the shoes of the former Dallas Cowboys cheerleader who was there before you. Who you are is exactly who they want you to be on this team, and that's going to take you far.
Yeah. I'd say also confidence.
Yeah.
I think that's
Mhm.
something that we see people lose throughout processes like this is their confidence in themselves. So just, knowing who you are and being proud of who you are and knowing what you bring to the table.
Absolutely. Well, my co-host is Drew Pearson, one of our great Dallas Cowboys. Caught the
Hey,
Hail Mary. That's right.
Drew.
Hut, hut. Yep. And he, of course, caught the Hail Mary, went in the Hall of Fame. We love him. But he said, I got to ask each one of you your Hail Mary moment, the moment in your life or career where you just had to go for it and it worked out for you. So, what do you suppose that was for you?
Oh, the moment. Well, I mean, the easy answer, trying out for this team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried out during COVID and I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but my mom and my little sister were like, hey, send in that video and we'll see what happens. And a few months later, I was wearing that uniform. So just going for it, just, putting myself out there and saying the worst that happens is they don't pick me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I also tried out during COVID, so I feel like mine was kind of a similar situation of just saying, hey, like I had never even done a prep class or a prep intensive, anything like that. I don't even think they were a thing back when Jada and I auditioned. So I had no clue what I was getting myself into. So yeah, just moving to Texas and trying out for the team.
Yeah. I think for
Mhm.
both of us was that feeling after we got cut our first year. I think we're going to give it another shot and we're going to see what happens. And let's not live in regret and let's go for it 110%. So I think for us.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
Well, because also we'll find out a little bit more about your story, but there's also a little bit of a lot that you have to get through. So I mean that's a it shows some strength that I think people are just going to love in the season.
Yeah, for
Absolutely.
sure.
Yeah, and then of course we see a lot of phrases in there and a lot of quotes and a lot of positive reinforcement. Is there something that each of you tell yourself that kind of keeps you going through all of this? Because there's a lot.
I always tell myself to take one thing at a time. I think a
Mhm.
lot of times when we're going through like game day and training camp and all the things it takes to prepare for stepping out on that field, you can get very overwhelmed with all the things that you have to do. But taking it one step at a time, it helps slow down my thought process. My body gets a little less anxious, and I'm able to go throughout the rest of my day knowing that everything I took a second, took a moment, and I just took it all in.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
remind myself that like God has already planned out my life. So, anything that comes my way, he's already thought of before I have. There's ways that I'm going to get through everything. So when I remind myself of that, I'm like, oh, I've got this.
I
Mhm.
think it's just staying positive within yourself because a lot of times throughout the season, you can see that things get overwhelming. Even in the training camp portion of it, you're very overwhelmed, a lot's going on, and it's just staying positive and getting out of that negative headspace to the best you can.
I agree with that. I also would just say remembering your why and
Mhm.
remembering how hard you worked to get here because it's not an easy journey. And I think that's displayed beautifully throughout this entire season and last season. Remembering that you would have given anything to be on that field and the fact that you get to stand there, all of your feelings of I'm tired and this is hard go away.
Yeah. And do you feel like people look at you a little bit differently now that they just see how much work and how hard it is and everything that you go through?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think people gained a lot of respect and do really, I think it does a great job of displaying how hard this job is and how much we put ourselves and our bodies through and how much we really do in a game, before a game. We
Yeah.
do the whole game before we do the game.
But we
like,
take off season.
yeah, when we
Yeah.
do the off
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
I think they had a glimpse of what our summers look like before, and now they really
Yeah.
see what the full year looks
Yes,
like. And
yeah.
so we've gotten a lot of respect. Like, oh, it doesn't end when you make the team. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, it just begins.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
begins.
New chapter.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being with us. We got to say, how about them Cowboys?
Yeah.
And let's hope for a Cowboys Super Bowl. And we'll
Yes.
be waving at you from the McCatherine Suite. Thank you so much
Love
for
it.
being on
Thank
with
you
us.
so much.
Thank you.